I'm recording on both to see what this does. I think this is interesting. I hope that one records. But I've been thinking a lot about structure and what that means within a person's creative process, within my creative process. I've seen it play out a lot better in this past year of 2025 than I ever have in my entire artistic career leading up until this point. I'm saying career because I've been making stuff for like a decade now, but I'm just now figuring out that I want to take it seriously and how to take it seriously and what I need to do, and that involved like growing up a bit and getting some chips off my shoulder. However, that aside, creating a toolbox has been probably one of the most beneficial things for me. And by toolbox, I mean like in the sense of I'm giving myself tools to work with, duh. But so it's like, okay, I might want to work with a specific synth that I have, or I just want to, I might work on a project that's completely sample based, or I might want to play the guitar. But it's important to define those at some point in time and not be so loose. I think I'd be so loose that it would drive me insane, like actually, and I would be like, how am I gonna make this? How's it ever gonna get bigger? He's like, just start off with like the smallest idea, then work up from there. Even if it's like, okay, sample based, and then I wanna, I don't know, throw a kazoo on it, or like samples and a harmonica. Like if that's what you want to do, like make that your thing, and then play within those limitations. I found out if I give myself two things, like you could do a lot with samples and a synthesizer. It's a project that I'm working on right now. But even if you say samples, that's still broad, and it's still like, where am I going from here? How am I making it? How am I doing it? So it's like, okay, you're choosing rock samples from the 60s, obscure rock samples for weird electronic stuff from the 80s, or 2000s pop, and you want to flip it into more like of a trap-esque sort of thing. I don't know. It's just figure out what you want and go for it as far as like a toolbox and setting that up. And the next would be not really setting any expectations necessarily, because setting your limitations, expectations, two different things. It's like, I'll use this like as an example, like going into the studio and being like, this is what I'm gonna play within for the hour that I'm in there, if that's like what you're gonna do, instead of just going in and be like, well, we'll see what happens today. I think there's a time and place for that. Like if you don't know where you're going yet, throw shit at the wall and see what sticks, for sure. But that's also a fun place to be. But like sift through those ideas. But once you start, narrowing it down and getting somewhere, lock it in. I think it makes for a more productive session overall. And I think I'm only just realizing this because like my frontal lobe just switched on, and I'm like, oh my God, I understand myself and how I function, how I want to function. I understand my brain a little bit better. I understand what bad habits I've made. But I don't know, I just wanted to document this thought, and yeah, it exists. So if anybody feels the same, I hope this finds you whenever it needs to. Yeah.